Karl Erich Rudolf Formis was born on December 25, 1894, in Stuttgart, in the German Empire. Formis came from a middle-class family. His grandfather, Christian Friedrich von Lienz, was a well-known architect, who designed the Villa Berg in Stuttgart. In World War I, Formis belonged to the German Asia Corps and fought alongside Ottoman troops in Arabia. After the war, he demonstrated his skills in the field of radiotelegraphy when he built a short-wave transmitter capable of communicating with the United States. In the spring of 1923, he was employed at SÜRAG, where he built the first transmission systems for the company. He worked there for over 10 years and reached the position of technical director for South German radio. In 1925, Formis introduced the German amateur radio designation DE. DE mean in German receiving station. Formis himself had the mark DE0100, and his call sign as a broadcast amateur was KY4. In 1928, at Castle Solitude near Stuttgart, he built a remote receiving station for SÜRAG, which supplied the transmission of reports from overseas. From January 1932, he was head of the SÜRAG technical department. After the Nazis came to power, he became a member of the Sturmabteilung, or SA, on March 7, 1933, and as an SA member took part in the occupation of the Stuttgart radio station. He gave a speech in support of the National Socialists, despite never previously being publicly known as a National Socialist. He later came into conflict with the Nazis, as his grandmother was Jewish. One account also claimed that he became disillusioned with Nazism and that as a dramatic protest, he cut the landline of the radio broadcasting one of Hitler's public addresses, cutting it off from people listening at home. He was quickly found out and was arrested and beaten by the Gestapo. After his Jewish ancestry was discovered, he was sent to a concentration camp, although it's unknown which one. After being released, he tried to move to Turkey, but was intercepted in Bulgaria as he didn't have the correct documentation and was sent to Prague. In Prague, he joined the Black Front, an opposition group run by Otto Strasser that had split from the main National Socialist Party. Formis directed the distribution of Otto Strasser's newspaper, Die Deutsche Revolution, and built an underground broadcasting station in the former Hotel Zahary, near Slapy, in Czechoslovakia, November 1934. The shortwave transmitter was built by Formis, and was brought from his Stuttgart workshop to Czechoslovakia. After test broadcasts starting in September, regular group broadcasts began on December 2, 1934. Formis's transmitter was the first German clandestine radio transmitter to be detected by the Nazis. He used similar operating frequencies to the Koenigs Wusterhausen radio transmitter, and operated in a way that made receivers believe the signal was transmitted from Berlin. During this period, Formis acted as technician, speaker and author. He drew his information from press compilations of the Prague office of the Black Front and from self-scanned broadcasts. The program included appeals against the Nazi regime, replies to Nazi propaganda and calls for resistance and sabotage. In addition, management reports from Strasser were broadcast, in which he also tried to ridicule the Nazi party. Strasser used his knowledge of leading Nazis from the time of his party membership before 1930. This operation was very annoying for the Nazi party because radio broadcasts were the most modern form of propaganda at the time, and were considered very important. Formis had tuned the antenna of the transmitter so most of the power went up into the sky, called skywave propagation. This way the transmitter ground wave would be more difficult to locate within a radius of about 20 kilometers. Despite this precaution, the German authorities could locate the operation with their power of a 100-watt transmitter. The Prague exile group of the Black Front was infiltrated by Gestapo agents, and the crucial information about the location of the transmitter and the operator came from one of Strasser's employees, betraying the whole operation. The German government called on the Czechoslovak government to take action against the station. In a letter signed by Secretary of State Bernhard Wilhelm von Bülow, on December 12, 1934, the station was classified as a hate center, which should be banned by the Czech authorities. Recordings of the broadcasts were played to Stuttgart radio staff, who recognized Formis' voice. In January 1935, SD Commander Reinhard Heydrich ordered SS squad leader Alfred Naujoks to destroy the underground transmitter. Naujoks traveled under the name Hans M. Müller, and under the guise of a skier, drove to Czechoslovakia with Edith Kursbach, a gym teacher from Berlin, where they succeeded in befriending Formis, and making a wax print of the key to the transmitter room. Naujoks briefly returned to Germany, had a duplicate made, and drove again to Slapy with Werner Gottsch. Their plan was to enter the transmission room unnoticed, and destroy the transmitter with acid, drug Formis and kidnap him. On January 23, 1935, contrary to the plan, Formis stayed in the broadcasting room and fired at Naujoks when he entered. Formis was killed in a firefight by 2 pistol shots. The chaos created by the incident worried Heydrich, who feared incurring Himmler's wrath for the complications of what he considered to be a botched operation. The public killing exposed the SD's activities in Czechoslovakia, using Sudetenland region the base of operations, including the surveillance and pursuit of German émigrés in Czechoslovakia, as well as the support for the Aufbruch Circle, a group critical of Sudeten politician Konrad Henlein. Rudolf Formis is buried in Slapy, in the Czech Republic. He was 40 years old when he died. The radio station used by Rudolf Formis has been preserved for posterity. In 2012 and 2013, it was on loan to the National Technical Museum in Prague.